Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, hanging out with my good buddy Blake Sievers. Siebes, what's up, man?
Oh, we're right in the thick of high school soccer, aren't we? I love it. The weather's turned. It's nice out. We got plays of the week, submissions, winners coming in like crazy. It's a great time of year.
Yeah, you can hear the birds chirping, the sun is shining. And we also have the Titan Tactician here, so everything is good. Matthew Sahag, welcome to the pod.
Thanks. I really enjoyed watching those plays of the week. There's some good goals.
Yeah, shout out to Plays of the Week.
And for everyone who submitted them. I mean, and for everyone who followed or engaged with the post, that post blew up pretty good for us, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we should probably give one. The guy off camera has to do all the Play of the Week submissions. When you submit them, it'd be a little bit helpful if you followed the instructions. I don't know what those are, but it's helpful if you can include the player and the opponent in those clips.
I think I submitted one this week, and I did not follow those directions, so
Weird.
I will amend my submission.
Well, again, shout out to Play of the Week. If you aren't following us on the social medias, check us out at KIF Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, at KIF_soccer on Twitter, or X, I guess, is what we're calling it these days. But yeah, so make sure you're submitting those Plays of the Week, and then, of course, voting for them. And what are we going to talk about today, Sievers? I think we were going to talk about the Crosstown Invitational.
Yeah, so Ankeny on the girls' side, Ankeny, Centennial, and the Ankeny Hawks have run this kind of, quote, invitational college coach featured event for a few years now, and obviously grown it, and you've got some big-time programs, highly ranked programs playing in this, a one-day event between Ankeny and Centennial.
Yeah, and maybe just run through the teams that played here quick, Blake. But you had from 3A, you had number.
You want me to run through it, or do you want to run through it, Ben?
I guess I could do it too. You go ahead, Simon.
So
Sorry.
current rankings wise, you had Centennial against Linn-Mar. So you had the number 3 ranked team in 3A against the number 7 ranked team in 3A. You had Northwest against Cedar Falls. Current number 1 against Cedar Falls, who was ranked last week before they dropped that result. Then you had Pleasant Valley and Valley, again, number 2 and number 8. And then number 1 ranked in 2A, Waverly Shell Rock against current number 5, Ankeny. So you had number 1 in 2A, and then in 3A, you want to talk about quality, number 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8.
And then did Ankeny play? Ankeny ended up playing a couple. They played 2 games, 1 game each day, and same with Ankeny Centennial, I believe, right?
Well, they definitely did not play on the Sunday.
There were some Friday night games as well.
That could be the case.
So I think, too, that Waverly Shell Rock Ankeny game, I'm pretty sure. I know Waverly beat somebody.
Yeah, they
good.
did win. They won 2-0. Waverly Shell Rock won 2-0.
I think it was more than that, wasn't it?
Well, as I pull up the Waverly Shell Rock, they beat Waterloo West 10-0, they beat Xavier 1-0, and they beat Ankeny 2-0.
Okay, Ben, sorry about that. You're right.
Yep, and then on just to make sure we fully give a picture of this, on Friday night of the same event, so we talked about Saturday, Friday night Prairie played Ankeny Centennial, Linn-Mar played Ankeny, and then they also hosted Cedar Falls and Valley and Pleasant Valley against Waukee Northwest. So you had a bunch of teams that were ranked getting opportunities to play meaningful games, and not squeezing multiple games in necessarily in a day, trying to play 2 games over 2 days. And I would guess that Waverly Shell Rock only came the 1 day because they played Thursday night against Xavier, which was probably a decent game for them. So anyway, cool event. That the coaches have been putting on up there, kind of led by Chris Allen, because I think he's just had the longest tenure up there. And it's a really cool event because, 1, the quality of the teams, but 2, he also makes a point of inviting some college coaches to get out there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's that's one of the additional real draws of that. Not only do you get, I mean, the top ranked teams all at a couple of venues in a couple of days, but it's basically a showcase, right? I mean, they don't call it a showcase. They don't use the buzzword, but there are schools, very good schools there to recruit. So on the list there that they advertised, Drake was there. Minnesota State was there. So, and for those who don't know, Drake were the favorites to win the Missouri Valley tournament and went out late. I think they won the conference this year, Division I.
That's correct.
Minnesota State is the runner-up in Division II, national champion. So they were there. UNI was there. University of Iowa was there. So there are, 3 Division I schools.
Iowa
and
State.
The second best, Iowa State was not there, I don't think.
They weren't.
But the second best team in all of Division II were recruiting right at this event. And then you had a number of Division III or NAIA schools there as well, including William Penn, Simpson, Grandview, Buena Vista. Loris was there. There's a couple other mascots that I'm not just recognizing as I'm looking at this list. But that's a pretty significant representation in April to get all those schools here to this event where they can watch all these games of these kids. And what is really significant about that is the fact that there was no cost to participate in the event, right? Most of these showcases are like over $1,000 now. There's no travel costs here because, except maybe you've had a bus ride if you were Waverly or something like that.
That's covered by the school.
Covered by the school, right. But then if you think about, we've talked about this a lot, where these girls are getting recruited to, they're getting recruited, in and around Iowa in the Midwest. So I'm looking at a spreadsheet right now that some of the coaches have put together, which are 148. There's 148 female players on this list who have graduated since 2020 and beyond or committed now. And we can see exactly where these kids are going. So there are a couple of outlier states, but by and large, 90% of all of these kids have gone to a school in Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska, Minnesota, Missouri. There's a couple at Indiana, and then North and South Dakota. That's it, right? Oh, there's one Wisconsin as well. So, and there may be some other ones out there that people know about, but this is tracked by some high school coaches who know where kids are going. And so when you think about that, and nobody had to go to Florida, nobody had to go to Seattle, nobody had to go to Arizona, nobody had to get on a plane, nobody had to miss school. Chris Allen picked up the phone and made calls, and the schools came and they watched. And so I think first of all credit to Chris. And then I'm sure if he had some other people helping him with this, for taking the initiative to do that. But I think it just shows with a little outside the box thinking, which I don't even know if that's outside the box, but it's just outside the box of what everyone's sort of the pattern everyone's into these days. You get all these schools here for free, and they're in the area where these kids are all going to school. So what a great event to start off the season for these kids. And on top of it, they're playing against the best competition in the state.
And for high school coach, it's in Ankeny, right? Centennial, and the two fields are just down the road from each other.
Correct. Yep.
So
yeah, very cool. So we were going to highlight one specific game.
Well, if you want a YouTube clip.
There's a YouTube clip for you. You think we've been drinking beers, but today we're drinking LaCroix, and Matt just accidentally drank the wrong LaCroix.
Oh.
You can see it on his face. He didn't like it. So we were going to highlight a specific game from that event, the Centennial Linn-Mar game on Saturday. Centennial scored 3 goals and ran out 3-0 winners.
2-1.
Was it 2-1?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I just read that wrong. Anyway, so let's kind of run through those goals and stuff, Matt. You can break them down for us a little bit.
Yeah. So this was an interesting matchup too, because it's a rematch of the state semifinal. So in the semifinal last year, Centennial
Linn-Mar won, didn't they?
Yeah, Centennial plays Linn-Mar, and I believe Linn-Mar scored late and did they beat them what?
2-1. Linn-Mar won.
They beat them 2-1. So obviously for Centennial, this is a little bit of a grudge match, and they got the best of them. So this game was played at Centennial on the turf, and so there were like Ben said, it was 2-1, but there's
Exactly
some
like I said.
yeah, but there's some decent goals. So Ankeny Centennial starts the scoring less than 20 minutes in, so I think it's in the 18th or 19th minute. There's a free kick from about let's see, it's on the 45, so 55 yards out, and the number 23, is that Boyle maybe, just hits one into the box. Linn-Mar actually does a good job of winning the first ball on the header. It's not a great clearance, but she gets her head on it. If she leaves it, actually, the goalkeeper probably saves it. But then, all credit to Centennial's players, they've got two players sort of hunting into the box, and it drops on one's head, and she just puts it in. So from Linn-Mar, you probably want a little bit more from your goalkeeper there. Looks like the goalkeeper tries to catch it, with her hands facing up as opposed to going and get it at the highest point, which allows Ankeny's player just to win the ball in the header. So opportunistic by Centennial. I think Linn-Mar's probably going to say, we could have defended the header better and we could have gone into the box. But just in the games that I've watched in the last couple of years, and even so far this year, and this for our team too, because we scored a couple of goals that you would think maybe would be saved or whatnot. On the girls' side of the game, when you put balls in the danger area, good things happen, and so this is representative of that fact. So 1-0 to Centennial early on. So then the game is kind of a stalemate for a period of time there, and I think it gets to the second half. I'm pretty sure there's a second half.
Well, yeah, because they're going the other way.
Good point,
That's
Blake.
one easy way
Smart.
to tell if it's second half or not if they switch sides.
When Matt sent me this clip, the first thing I thought was, oh no, team playing out of the back is going to get nicked and scored on. I don't want to see that. And instead it is the exact opposite. It's why you would want teams to play out of the back, and they do it very, very well, right, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't draw it up any better for Centennial here. They literally start from the 6-yard box with their two center backs splitting the goalkeeper and the posts.
This is it right here, though. This turn.
Yeah, and who is that? That's the turn that unlocks the game for them.
Right. Yeah. And that's Posma too, that just kind of played around the corners there, and she just gallops forward, and then ends up scoring. So I think there's a couple of really good things about this goal, though. So on Centennial's side, we'll just start with what I think is good. Okay, Charlie.
Come on up, Charles.
You got to either get up or get down.
There you go. Hi. Again, shout out for our YouTube. We got a very, very good-looking guest.
I think so. Posma's coming back from an ACL tear, by the way. So she's back for Centennial, which is a big pickup for them, who they were missing last year. But okay, she's gonna have to get down. You gotta get down, Doug.
Here, Charlie, come.
Keep going, Ben.
Yeah, so
Keep petting the dog, Ben, so Matt
I
can
got
talk.
it. I'll take the dog. You analyze.
So Posma, she's back. She plays the ball around the corner, and then I think the things that's so positive about what she does is she just then joins the attack. So she starts from 20 yards or 15 yards inside her own half, and then she ends up basically getting the ball, the through ball to forward. Now, Linn-Mar is probably got a little bit of an argument here for offsides. I think the linesman does really well not to call it because it's too close. I think you got to give the benefit to the.
Look where the lino's at. Unfortunately, nowhere in line. Or is that just the angle? You think?
I don't know.
I think it's too close, so you got to give it to the attacker.
Right, but I mean that is it's so close. So, and then ball gets through. Postman takes a great first touch. Her first touch gets her towards the center of the goal, gets her across the defenders, gets the goalkeeper moving to her right, and then she kind of just slots it near post on the ground. It's a really cool, calm, collected finish from Postman.
I think it's the run too, right? It's the turn and then her run. She plays it forward and then she just gets going forward and gets it back and gets rewarded.
Right. So, I mean, I think all teams around the state should take note of that. I mean, there's a central midfielder who is basically running box to box and creating and scoring.
I also like the confidence from the center back to play into that space, right? The initial pass that breaks, it puts her in the situation to make the turn that opens the game up.
Yeah.
But I like that she's willing to give her the ball there.
Yeah. So, if you flip that around, then you look at sort of the defending side of the ball. Linn-Mar is going to be a little bit disappointed here, and that it's the ball from the center back. I think that you were talking about, Ben, where the girl just turns inside.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it when she turns inside, Linn-Mar has actually got Ankeny right where they want him. She just overcommits to the player's left-handed side. I mean, she doesn't have to win the ball here. She doesn't have to even really challenge for it. And so if she would have just kept the ball going, to Linn-Mar's left, to the left side of the field, then she doesn't get out. But she allows the Ankeny player to come inside, which basically unbalances Linn-Mar's entire defense, because that's the next pass then can come into Postma, who plays around the corner, and then all of a sudden they're out. So I think that they're defending there. If you just change that one little thing, they don't get out. The second thing is when Postma eventually gets played through, the ball runs by Postma to the other striker, and then two of Linn-Mar's players try and challenge for the ball, which leaves Postma open. So that's just a pressure cover sort of scenario where only one's got to pressure the ball. The other one just drops off, then she can defend that next pass. So Linn-Mar's got a couple things to clean up, but I think all in all, a really good goal by Centennial.
Yeah, and whether or not they meant it, the two strikers for Centennial kind of positioning themselves in such a way that they were able to clean things up for each other and kind of line themselves up nicely. So that puts them up 2-0. And Linn-Mar scores a pretty good goal to make it 2-1. The Ankeny Centennial goalkeeper with an excellent save to push it off the post, but then a rebound goal from Linn-Mar. Maybe walk us through the set piece a little, Matt.
Yeah, this is one of the best goals I've seen on the girls' side of the game here in the last couple of years, in my opinion, just in terms of the skill from the player that scored here. So there's a free kick that is, let's see here.
It's on the 40-yard line, so
Yeah.
it's 50 yards out.
Right. And so if you watch the goal scorer's run, though, it's really good. She starts all the way on, like she's on the 15-yard line, but she kind of, if you watch, like from the time the Linn-Mar player sets the ball, she actually pulls away first. So she backs up. And she's dragging, and so what she's doing, she's dragging that defender out of the space. And then what she does, she runs then across, which picks, and the Linn-Mar player actually picks the Ankeny defender. And so she then is able to break free. The ball delivered is really good play, really good ball, and she leaps up with her left foot and just guides it far post.
A little Zlatan-esque of her.
Yeah. Goalkeeper does a really good job to get a hand on it, looks like, but then it just nicks off the post and goes in.
Really good attempt from the goalkeeper to save it.
Yeah. But I mean, what a piece of skill there, right? Like
Yeah, the finish is slick.
The run is really good. If that's a set piece, it seems like one, right? Because it looks. I mean, it's flawlessly sort of executed. I just love this goal. Like most players would not flick that with their left foot.
It's because it's nearly impossible, right? It's just
that's a really tricky
very
finish.
challenging. That's what makes the goal so good.
Yeah, I think that if I'm going to play devil's advocate, if I'm Chris Allen, I'm looking at the two defenders and where the defender loses the goal scorer, there's maybe should be some communication or a switch or something. It's a great run, and the run really, it creates the goal. It's just one of those when you see the defenders, you might go, like, if I'm the defender, I'm going like, ooh, I probably should have figured out how to track that better or switched or communicated somehow.
Right. I mean, I think what should happen here, if you've got a really sort of savvy defender, is that other Centennial player just steps right in the path of the runner.
The run,
right? And just kind of puts her hands up and does one of these.
Yeah.
But you're right, because it's, or they've got to say just, hey, switch.
Yes.
And she's got to run with her.
You got to really be on it to do that.
Right.
But certainly not taken away from the goal. What a goal.
If it's not too late, I mean, I think that's got to be a goal of the week submission. So, Evan, it's Centennial versus Linn-Mar. It's the third goal.
We'll figure out who scored it. Linn-Mar scored it, though.
It's interesting, though, right? 2 of the 3 goals in that game come off free kicks from 45 to 50 yards out that are put in a dangerous spot, not dealt with, and concede and goal.
Right. Totally.
The interesting thing, too, is that they're from more central area of the field, right? Like, I would prefer, if I'm a coach or a player, like, I'd want it, if I've got a free kick from that far out, I'd like it on an angle, right?
Yeah.
So you can drive it across the goal and whatever. But so when it's on that sort of that narrow field, like a lot of times in this situation, I'd say, well, play it wide and then serve the ball in the box. But the way they're doing it and they're putting it in a place where people have to make decisions. And like you said, it's one of you said the danger zone, and that's exactly what's happening with the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
Well, what else? Sievers, you saw another game this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I swung out to a little bit of watched Valley play Southeast Polk. Again, makes it a little bit easier to go watch some of these games when the weather's nice, right?
Yeah, and how did that one look? I believe Valley was the victor there.
Yeah, 0-0 at half. I mean, and you want to talk about a physical game. Like, both teams just kicked the crap out of each other. Not in a bad way at all, but like they were fought.
Physical game.
Yeah, it was. It was very physical. And then, Valley scored, I think, within the first 5 minutes of the second half to go 1-0 up, and then did get a second right away. And I don't know. I mean, the one thing I thought was interesting was this. I don't think, because it was like a knee-to-knee challenge, but Sabrina Rogers, I thought it was like, went knee-to-knee and just went down and came off. I don't think came back on and like struggled to get off the field a little bit. So just something to keep an eye on, I think, going forward. But
hopefully she's all right. Maybe worth just mentioning too, and maybe a good segue. Southeast Polk just dropped out of the rankings. They were previously ranked 14th in 3A, so they're kind of in the mix as well. Blake, do you want to kind of run through the rankings for the girls? Kind of overall, that was maybe the thought today, was just run through the rankings. We've talked about some results, and then next week we'll get some boys' rankings in the mix. They put theirs out on the weekend. So what do we? This is the first real rankings after results, right? There are preseason rankings, and then here's where we're at. So
yeah, I think right. We talked 1A, just start at the smallest class. We talked Assumption dropped a couple games, right? As the number 1 last week. So they go down to number 2. Hudson's number 1, and then Des Moines Christian, some local flavor, is ranked number 3. And then
Des Moines Christian with a really big win this last week. I will be curious to see if it catapults them higher into their rankings.
Yeah, and then you have Denver, who's been up there for a while, trainer as well. Then you go to 2A, kind of like we talked about. You got Waverly Shell Rock, number 1, Norwalk, number 2. The Phillies from DCG dropped that one, dropped a game, so they went from number 1 to number 3. But again, Central Iowa heavy with North Polk, number 4. And then going obviously to the biggest class, Northwest stays atop. The top of the standings, you got Valley number 2, Centennial number 3, and you want to talk about again Central Iowa, Waukee 4, Ankeny 5. And then it's obviously everybody's only played a few games, but continue to be mixed up a little bit as well.
Yeah, it is interesting to see, after watching as much, especially on the girls' side, as much of this soccer as we have, the consistency with which some of these teams find themselves in the top 5 and 10 is really a testament to the communities and to the coaching staffs and the players. Gosh, when you look at that, the 3A, and you think about 2 Waukee teams and 2 Ankeny teams in the top 5, that's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then Valley, who doesn't want to split their school, stays in the top 5 as well. But yeah, so like I said, we've got the boys rankings coming out for the first time next week. We've been following some of those results, and just without going into a bunch of them in detail, sort of confusing results, right, Blake?
Good luck, rankings committee.
I know, right? It's 1 week Team A beats Team B, and the next week Team A beats Team C, and then the following week C beats B, and it's just it's all over the place. So we will be interested to see those rankings, and then also, if you've been out watching games and you've got some feedback for us, we always want to hear if you've seen anything good. What else you got for us, Siebes? Matthew?
That's it for me.
Me as well.
All right. Well, best of luck to you boys coaching over the next few days, and we will catch you guys next week.